My name is Skylar Chapman, and I'm a member of the UPIKE women's soccer team. This past year, my soccer team had 14 concussions on a 22-girl roster. That's a huge deal. I wasn't one of them, fortunately, but I've had my fair share. I've had 2 concussions since I've started playing soccer, 2 known concussions. 2 big concussions that could have potentially ended my career in high school. So my first concussion I got was a head-to-head collision. It was really bad, right in front of my mom.
Oh, crap.
And everyone kind of just sat there in silence. Nobody really knew what to do. I don't really remember much after that. I remember I got to play another half of a game before I got sick and had to be taken out. And then the second one came the next fall in high school season, and me and a girl had another head-to-head collision. This one left a huge pump knot on my head, and I was pulled out immediately, and I got checked soon after and found out that I had my second concussion. Both my concussions were pretty serious. They weren't minor. It actually ended up having me wear headgear for the rest of my career. I now play college ball, and thankfully I haven't had another concussion since wearing the headgear. It doesn't mean that the headgear completely prevented it. I don't really know, but at the same time, both of my concussions were from head-to-head contact and not from the ball. I don't know if my headgear has saved me, because if I had my third concussion, I would never be able to play again. But I think I want to find out. I want to find out what other people think about headgear, especially since they're now trying to pass a law where headgear must be a mandatory part of the uniform. Also, kids 12 and under aren't allowed to head the ball at all anymore. I just want to find out kind of a truth in a way. I want to find out if really my headgear helps or if it's just there.
Well, there's a lot of research out there, so there's different reasons believed from various people. Some people think that it's because when girls head the ball, they close their eyes, so they lose spatial awareness of what else is coming towards them or around them. So if they're jumping next to somebody and they close their eyes to head the ball, they don't actually see that that person's coming towards them, and then they hit heads. And there's some other people who think that it's because their neck muscles are weaker in women than men, as well as many other reasons, but those are believed to be the top 2 reasons. So the after effects of the concussion, there's many symptoms. They're all started because your brain hits your skull when you hit your head, and it tears axons in your brain, which are parts of your nerve, and it releases a chemical. So those can cause dizziness, fatigue, light sensitivity, noise sensitivity, and irritability are some of the main symptoms that you experience. I don't think it should be mandatory. I think it's definitely a great tool that they could use. There's no amount of headgear that's ever going to actually prevent a concussion from happening, but it's an option. On the other hand, it could also make someone who wouldn't go for that header, go in to fight for that header, and make them feel invincible and make them hurt themselves worse than they would without it. I don't think that it should be implemented to higher levels. If anything, rather than taking heading out at that age, I think we need to start teaching them how to properly head the ball at that age and progressing them from the basics of it and into that, because right now you go from not being able to head it under 12 to getting to college or high school and not knowing how to head the ball, and I think that's what causes quite a few of the concussions that we see at this level, is they just don't know what the skill looks like or how to properly do it.
I had 2 concussions this season. The second one was during a game. A girl shoulder checked me in the head as soon as I turned around. And that one I tried to play through it, but I shouldn't have, and the trainers pulled me off for that one.
I was going for a 1v1 ball when the player thought my head was the ball and decided to kick me right in the head. That's about it. If you've gone through a really bad concussion and you have the right to purchase it, I mean, it's up to you. It's entirely your preference. That's what I'm going to say.
I agree. It shouldn't be mandatory, but they should have like options. Like if you do want to buy it, the school should offer to pay for it, or like your club or something, just to add protection.
Probably happened while you were playing, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't either.
where there's like a limit, I
Mhm.
think like
After you
if
get it
you're-
so many times.
yeah, if you've had so many like severe ones.
Yes. Like I've only been hit in the head once, and it happened to be concussion. I've been hit in the head many times before, hasn't
Same.
been a concussion. So I mean, it just depends.
On the
Yeah.
person.
It's part of the game. It always has been, always will be. It shouldn't be outlawed for what it is. It's part of the game. 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 It always has been, always will be. It shouldn't be outlawed for what it is.